Hey, and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to talk about being a modern day homemaker, housewife, stay-at-home mom, traditional homemaker, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to talk about being home with your children and being a homemaker and why it is not wasted time. So let's dive into today's video and talk about all the reasons why I think being a homemaker is extremely important. So before we dive into all the good things about why it is amazing to be a homemaker and why it's such an amazing and important role we get as women and as mothers, I wanted to share a little bit more about how I actually got to this point and what made me fall in love with homemaking and motherhood in general. So let's talk about that. So when I was a little girl, I always said, I want to be a mother. I don't want to study. I don't want to have a career. I don't want to do anything in that sense. I don't want to work. I don't want to pursue anything. I just want to be home. I want to be there for my children. I want to create a safe place for my family, and I want to be at home. Well, everybody in school always told me, you can't. You need to get an income. You need to work. So you need to find something that you love, that you can do to generate an income. So that is what I did. I chose something that spoke to me most. And because I didn't really have any ambition for a career, I kind of chose something that sounded fun. So I became an English teacher to secondary school students, and it was fun. I really liked doing it. But after 3 years, I had our first son, and I just knew I'm working. I took him to daycare, and I really knew I don't want to do this. This is not my goal in life. This is not my purpose. I want to be home with him. So I actually did stay at work. I worked part-time. I worked 3 days a week. And then I became pregnant with our second. And then I lost my job. There was no room for me anymore. And I was at home pregnant with our second child. And I did try to find another job, but I kind of didn't want to. But I had to because that was what everybody told me. So I applied to a lot of jobs, but because I was pregnant, when I came in to the interview, I was heavily pregnant. So obviously I didn't get any jobs. And I stayed home with our two children. And from that moment onwards, I just knew, okay, this is what I want to do. I felt like that was my spot. This is where I was made to be. So my husband was completely on board. He wouldn't mind if I would go back to work, but he also loves me being at home. So it was basically a choice that we made together, but he fully supported what I wanted. And so I stayed at home and I started a job from home. And I'll talk more about that in a future video. That is not the place for me to talk about right now, but I did do some side jobs here and there, but I mainly focused on becoming a homemaker, and I have absolutely loved it. And one of the things that I really love about being a homemaker is, like I mentioned, I can create a safe place for my family, for my children, for my husband to come home to. I love when he comes home, that he comes home to a clean house. He has clean laundry in his closet. There is a nice, fresh loaf of bread. There is a warm meal waiting for him when he comes home. There's children that are happy, they are washed. You know, things like that. I really value that a lot. And I know my husband does too. And that is something that I really think is something that women are naturally good at, because we are, I think most women, not everybody, but most women are really good at nurturing and providing for their family and taking care of others and seeing what other people need. And that is one part of homemaking that I absolutely love. And it is a really important part as well, because our children will spend a lot of time at home, especially my children, because we homeschool them. But even if they go to school, a lot of their younger years are spent at home. And what home do they come home to? Is mom ready to be there? Is mom ready to listen to what they did at school? Is mom always there for them, to give them a hug, to give them love? And I'm not saying that when you work outside of the home that it is wrong, because like I said, I did that and I always thought that that was gonna be me. And I'm still not against it. If I ever need to go outside of the house, I probably would. But right now, I really feel like this is something that is just super important. And our children are very young. They are 7, 4, and 2, so they are very young. And I just see so much value in me being home and me being there for them, and just also me being the one teaching them everything. I can teach them truth. I can teach them who Jesus is. I can show it through my walk of life. I can show it through the way I talk. I can take them along with me in my walk with God, and I can show them how that is for them too. So a lot of the things that I do at home is really focused on making sure that my children will become the best adults they can be. And of course, I make mistakes, everybody does, but I just really value the fact that I can be there for them, that I get to be the one that teaches them, that I get to be the one that shows them, hey, this is how we talk, this is what we do, this is not how we talk, this is not something that we should do. And it is when you bring your children to a daycare, like from 9 to 5, and they go to school and all the things, then a lot of times they will learn things that don't really correspond with your values. And that is okay. It happens. I totally understand how that works. And there's nothing wrong. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But I really wanted for our children and for our family, I really wanted to be there and to be the one that teaches them, which is also the reason why we decided to homeschool. I want to be the one that teaches them, and I also want school to be fully focused around Jesus and around the gospel, and not necessarily just learning facts. I want them to learn about life. I want them to learn life skills. I want them to learn how we behave, what our values are. I want them to behave and know, what did Jesus do? So how can we walk like Jesus did? Things like that are very important to us as a family, and I really wanted to teach that to our children. So that is the reason why we also homeschool. But me being at home actually made that possible, and that is something we talked about it the other day when I said, okay, maybe one day I should go back to work, and we really thought, okay, that is never going to happen as long as our children are in the school age. Because I want to homeschool them. I really love being able to homeschool them. And when I am not at home, I can't homeschool. So it is one of those things that kind of evolved from me losing my job. I lost my job, so I went from being a working mom to being a stay-at-home mom, and then it turned into me being a work-from-home homeschooling mom. And yeah, like I said, it has been amazing. So one other thing that I really love about being home is that I can actually pursue things that I can use my gifts and talents for. Because a lot of times you will hear people say, well, when you're a stay-at-home mom, you're wasting your potential. Well, honestly, I don't think that any time at home is ever a wasted time. So even if you are the brightest person in the world, when you are at home and take care of your children, that is the best thing you can do. So it is never wasted, in my opinion. But also, you can pursue a lot of things when you're at home. Like right now, I love building a business. I am working on creating a good personal brand. I am working on things that I love. I am working on developing skills. So I'm learning how to bake bread. I'm learning how to sew. So there is a lot of things that I can do at home that I can use my gifts and talents for. And like right now, I loved being a teacher. It was something that I was kind of good at, if I do say so myself. But I can still do that because I still do that through my business. I can still teach through YouTube videos. I can still teach through my online course. There's a lot of things that I can still do, even though I am a homemaker and that is my first priority. So I work from home, but my main role in life is being a mom and being a homemaker. That is something that is really important, and that always comes first. So when I need to work, but my children need me, then my children are my priority. So work has to wait for a second. So that is how I deal with it. But like I said, I'm gonna talk about that more in a different video. My next video is actually gonna be about how I work from home and how my last work from home endeavor kind of almost made me dread being at home, and it kind of turned me into a workaholic instead of a homemaker. But I'll talk about that, like I said, in my future video, because that is a whole other story. But it is really important to always keep your priorities straight and to always have your family. That is your base. Home is my baseline. That is what is important, and everything else comes on top of it. Homeschooling, being home with my children, that is what is important to me. And working from home is a great bonus, but we specifically chose to, me being a homemaker, my husband being our sole provider. And if anything happens and I can't work, that is okay, because he is the one that is our financial provider. He is the one that takes care of that. I take care of the family and take care of the home, and anything that is added to it through my job is a bonus, but it's not necessary. And I do think that that is important because, like I said, I'm probably already giving away too much of my next video, but your work can become like an obsession, and that is not what you want. Anyway, I love that I get to be able to be home and to pursue things like that. So be a working mom, be a homeschooling mom, be there for my children, and to be the person they need me to be. And another thing that I really think is important about being a homemaker, it is really important to realize that it is something that God has given you, and it is an amazing role, and you get to be their biggest influence in how they will view life, how they will view the world, and how they will view the role of a mother. Because if you dread being at home and you constantly nag and complain and all the things, then your children are not going to really appreciate the role of a mother. So it is also something that you can show them how to be a mother. Like, we have a daughter, and I love showing them, okay, this is, as a mom, you get to do the laundry, so this is how we do laundry. So I really do love that I get to be the one teaching them all those things. But yeah, like I said, I just love being a homemaker, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with working outside of the home. You are still a homemaker, but you're a working homemaker. But you always get to be, as a mom, we always get to be the one that creates the environment at home. So even as a working mom, you are a homemaker, you are an amazing mom, and it is really still one of your most important roles in life. So just make sure that your family and your home is always your priority, and make sure that it becomes a safe place for everybody to thrive in. So that is how I became a homemaker, and that is why I love being a homemaker. And it's just, I think it is one of the most important and one of the most amazing things you can be. And I really made it my life goal to help other mothers embrace that God-given role that they have, and to embrace being a homemaker and loving what they're doing. So I hope you found this video encouraging. I hope you love being a homemaker just as much as I do. And if you do, I would love for you to subscribe to this video, give this video a like. I would love for you to be here for my next video, which you know it's going to be all about how a side hustle can take over your family life and how I kind of made that mistake. So if you want to know more about that, stay here, subscribe, and don't miss my next video, and I will see you next time.